So hi everybody, welcome to this first episode of my new podcast, Notes on Practice, just because there aren't enough podcasts out there. So I thought I should do one because to fill that gap. One question I often get a lot from friends online and even friends who I know offline who are starting their own schools is advice on how to build a school. So I thought I was going to do a podcast. I thought about it for a while to do a podcast on this. And I thought, actually, if I were to build my school on my own, I'd probably have 10 students. Yeah? So I thought I'd bring Kristina along for the first episode because over the past 10 years, we've built this school together. And I think she's done most of the hard work. I always say I just turn up and teach. She does all the hard work. So I thought we'd do the first podcast episode together and just talk through where we started, how we've built Kung Fu Zone, talk a little bit about training, how it's changed us, and where we're going in the future. So, Kristina, I think most people know you. You're not very active on social media. You're not a social media person. But I think people know you because our students know you because they train with you, you teach them. And some people know you because I share some of your content online. So I thought it might be good to just talk a little bit about you and your history of training. And let's have a chat. We don't have a chat enough. We teach so much, we don't have time to chat. So when did you start training?
First of all, I think you're being very modest, saying that...
Me? Modest?
I think it has been a team effort, but you have been the support system of this whole, if you like, project of our Kung Fu Zone baby. To have built it, I've been able to do my bit because you were doing your bit. So I think it was
let's say it's a good team effort.
Yeah. So as you know, I started training years about 20 years ago now, when you had your school at Stratford, and still remember. Funnily enough, Aria, our daughter, was asking me yesterday, "Mommy, how did you and Bawa meet?" Out of all the times, funny that I get to do the podcast today. So I told her the story of how you're handing out flyers, and I got a flyer and I saw your face on it and thought, hang on, that's the same person who handed out the flyer. So very interesting. So straight away got me thinking, Kung Fu, I would love to do that. Some consistent practice of a sword. I had moved to UK a year previous to that, and I was looking for activity that I can immerse myself into, trying to find something that I enjoy, somewhere that I belonged. Being an immigrant, I found it a bit challenging to start with, but I found Kung Fu was exactly what I needed. So it provided that consistency, ability to train and find a family. That's from that day on I walked through that door, that's you've been basically family. And it's such a strange feeling because I feel like that's what we're doing now, and I'm so glad we are, because when people walk through our doors, I think, or I hope, but I really think that's what we do as well. We offer them family, somewhere they can feel comfortable to work on themselves.
I remember early on in my Stratford club. I was 20. I think I was 20 when I opened that club. So I'm 41 next week, so that's 21 years ago. And I remember you turned up, you were young, I think you were 15 or something. And the class was full of big guys. Yeah, the class was full of big guys, big, strong guys. We were all very martial focused because I was young then. I was in my fighting era. fighting era. And I remember you used to turn up to the sparring classes, and it was an hour, 45 minutes or an hour of, we didn't really do any drills. We didn't really do any pad work. It was just, okay, go spar, 5-minute rounds, spar for an hour. And you'd partner up with these big guys.
Yeah, like in their late 20s as
yeah,
well.
they were in their late 20s, fit, strong, and you just hold your own. You'd just go there, you'd annoy them, you'd be quick, because you've always been quite quick. And yeah, it was inspiring to watch. You know, I thought this girl's quite dedicated. Like every time you got, every time you got dropped, you got up again, went at them. So yeah, that was good to watch. That was good to watch. So what would you say? Why would you say you wanted to become a martial arts teacher or kung fu teacher?
Thanks for that question. I like sharing that story because it was the weirdest thing. It felt like, however weird that may sound, but like faith. Like 2 weeks into my training, I knew, and I never.
Do you mean fate?
Fate.
Kristina calls fate, faith, faith, fate.
The amount of
it's
time.
A Bulgarian thing.
The amount of time.
Fate. Go.
Yes. So, where is my trail? Yes. So 2 weeks into my training, I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and nothing before felt like this. There was just like no other way. This was my calling, and it's. You know, some people say, oh, maybe you find your calling one day. Some people say there's no such thing as calling. So whatever for everybody works best. But for me, that's what it felt like. This is it. And I wanted to teach. I wanted to, because Kung Fu for that short period of time, just it filled up everything. Like there was a gap left from my previous training back in Bulgaria.
What was your previous training in Bulgaria?
Well, I did aerobics on competition.
Aerobics.
Competitive level, so I would have international world championships. But I was still young, so obviously just on a youth level or juniors, if you like. So yeah, and I felt like there was a big gap left from that. But Kung Fu not just filled that gap, but it filled my life completely. It felt like this is it, this is what I'm gonna do, and everything else from that point onward was focused on how am I gonna get there. I want to teach, I want to have my own school. From that moment onwards, I remember. Oh no, actually, I remember. Sorry. You asked me. At some point, I think after maybe a few weeks or a month, because obviously I guess you saw potential in me. You asked, would you be interested in teaching one day?
After 2 weeks of training?
It must
Probably
have been...
not 2 weeks.
Okay, maybe a month. I don't know, it's over 20 years ago now. But I remember you asking me, would you ever consider teaching? And I didn't hesitate. From that moment. I was like, yep, I would definitely be interested in that. And so I think that was one of the first moments, one or the other, that set me on that path. And everything else, I started work so I can pay for my classes. I went to uni, my focus was classes. Everything was to do with my training. And I loved it.
In your first decade of training, how hard were you training? How many classes were you attending? How consistent were you in your training?
So I would train 6 to 7 days a week, and every day minimum of 3 hours, and then going up to 6 hours. So it was full on. It was hardcore, to the point where my family was like, "We don't see you. We need to come, to come home. We need to spend some time together." So it was like a career, basically. I was there all the time, which was very similar to you, wasn't it, when you were training at that time as well, and before that as well?
Yeah, people don't train like that anymore. I think we were lucky because we started young. We didn't have kids. We didn't really have 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
So instead of sitting at home playing computer games, we just trained.
Yeah.
So I think, it's very rare for people to train like that these days. But I think that kind of dedication needs to go into anything that you want to become an expert in. Not everyone's meant to become an expert at everything. So
Yeah, people can chop and choose what they like to dedicate their time.
I think so. I think people can. I think if people tell me, if I have students who tell me I want to become an expert or I want to become a teacher, then I demand more from them.
Mm.
But if they don't, then I say, yeah, just do what you can. Train, do what you can. Enjoy it, enjoy the training. And when you don't enjoy it anymore, then, yeah, maybe stop. It's just how it is.
Yeah, it's really sad. I'm jumping topics here, but it's sad to see that, because I know with my own personal training, once you've been through the levels or through the ceilings that you've had to break to be able to enjoy training again, so many people they give up on the first ceiling. And I think I sometimes say that to my students. I would go to them, to our students, and I would say to them, time will come when training will get tough. Life is going to get difficult. Life is going to get in the way. And all you can do is try to stay consistent. Push through that bit. Push through that challenging period. And then on the other side, you will be rewarded, regardless of how long that period lasts. To begin with, like you've said before, that period is much shorter. You get to a ceiling, you break through quite quickly. I mean, my last plateau that I reached, I felt like I just wasn't improving. It was maybe 3 or 4 years. And, you just keep turning up, keep trying stuff, keep trying your best, obviously, managing life and responsibilities, but it's sad.
Just a bit more on you and your training before we move on to building Kung Fu Zone. How did you juggle having kids and having to be a mum while maintaining your training?
Yes, that's a good question. I was in the shock of my life when when we had Aria, our daughter. So for the first 6 months, as you know, I barely did anything. I was solely a mom, and I was just trying to survive, trying to keep her alive, give her milk, put her to sleep. So 6 months, my training just was non-existent. I don't know how some parents do it straight away. Some moms especially, they can start training straight away. But for me, that wasn't the case with Aria anyway. And after 6 months, I started to slowly being able to, I adapted a bit more to motherhood. I understood what I need to do, what my baby needed, what you needed to support you as best as I can as well, and not just focus on the baby. Because once you're a new mom, you can't just forget about your family, just focus on the baby. I have to even find time for myself, which was sort of non-existent. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. And that's when my training started to come in. I found, I started training, the training that you were introducing in the classes. First of all, I was doing like half an hour intense training, so HIIT exercises, just to get myself back into shape.
The strong bodyweight exercises.
Bodyweight exercise, calisthenics, body calisthenics. And I found that was starting to get me fit. And then slowly introducing back all of it. And we were so lucky because your mom was around. So she was from 6 months mark. We were able to leave Aria with her. So I was able to come and train in your classes. And that was the best, because then Kung Fu was back. And it wasn't just me, tired mom, surviving on very little sleep, having to force myself to do it at home. But when I turn up to a class, then it's completely different. Even if I'm tired, I'm still turning up and I'm still doing my best. So it was very difficult. I found it very challenging, but slowly. And then I found myself, I think by the time Aria was 2, I was in the fittest probably shape of my life. I was training so hard, just building on the training slowly and following your guidance of the exercises, and not to big you up, but it then worked.
And then Oscar came along.
Yeah. Well, Oscar, thankfully, I spent with him, I think, a week and a half. And then I was back to teaching,
It's always the way with the second kid. First kid gets all the attention. Second kid is just get on with it.
All right. Yeah. Well, thankfully, he was very, very well behaved child. I mean, from day one, he was.
Because we didn't give him the same attention that we gave Our firstborn, didn't we?
Yeah, he was just
so
happy to get on with it.
Is.
Sit there quietly. Oh, he was an amazing baby. Can't say that about him now, but challenging us now.
Naughty boy at the moment.
Yeah.
So we both trained quite intensely together for about a decade, I reckon. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about a decade. I think you may be just under me, I think about 14 years at the same school. And then we left together. We fell out with them, we left. Happens, martial arts world. And it was me, you, and it was Dolan as well, wasn't it? Our most senior student. We all left together, and we were homeless for a little while. We were martial art. They say politically homeless, but we were martial arts homeless. Yeah, we didn't know where to go. We were training every evening for the past me 14 years, you decade or whatever. Every evening we were in classes, and then suddenly we had nowhere to go.
Evenings were like, what now?
Well, we joined our local gym.
Yeah, so that's why we
joined our local gym for the first time, and because they had a hall space which we weren't allowed to use, but we'd sneak in, and we'd sneak in and practice our forms and do some sparring and some push hands. And then take me back to that time when we decided to, why not open our own school? Do you remember that time?
Not really. It was so long ago. I mean, Dolan was very encouraging, and we would just turn up, and we just kept training together every night I think it was for about a year, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was close to a year.
Months,
consistently. I mean, you finish work, we get together, we trained, and well, because you started your own club in Stratford, and I had started my own club as well.
We should have talked about that. I forgot about that.
I just remember now.
You started teaching. How old were you when you opened your first club?
I must have been 22.
22.
Yeah, because I was there for I think a year, just a year. I had it for 1 year. So must have been 20. Yeah, 22. 22 until 23. I opened my club, and
this is with the old school.
With the old school, yeah. So obviously that was my path. Yeah. I was very set. I'm going to be a Kung Fu instructor. So in the old club, I opened my own satellite club, and it was going really well. I was very pleased. I had to put in a lot of hard work. That was my first proper challenge of real life. Okay, this is not just a class. This is going to be your business, your livelihood. Not just teaching and helping people, but you actually need to earn money doing this. So I found real hard work. I was waking up at 5 o'clock, going to the station when I was closest station to where I was teaching.
5 a.m. not 5 p.m.
5 a.m. I did say 5 a.m.
You said 5 o'clock. It could be anything.
5 a.m. I would go and the thing is, because it took me so long to travel there, I would only leave it for 45 minutes, and then I have to go to work. And after work, I would go either teach in my new school or go to class. And then I'll get home for like 11:30, and that was my daily routine.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. It was very busy,
very intense. But yeah, so we both had already
had
experience of running,
starting
a school, building it to a point where it was started to be successful. Yeah. So
yeah, we decided to open a school together, didn't we?
Yeah.
We thought, well, we're training anyway. We're paying fees to the gym. We could just hire a hall, do our training there, and if people want to come and train, they can come and train, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. I think our first class was September 2015. Yeah,
it's debatable which date exactly.
Yeah, I think it was.
You think it was 9, I think it was 5th.
I think it was the 9th of September, you think it was the 5th of September. It doesn't matter. And it was me, it was you, and it was Dolan, wasn't it? And I think there was another friend who trained Jasmine, and there was a guy called John, right?
Yeah.
And that was our first class. And then, from then we grew, didn't we? We grew, we had to open more classes. So I wanted to, so a question I often get is, how do I start a school? Yeah?
Mm.
So the practicalities of starting a school is find a local hall,
Yeah.
hire it out, and advertise.
Yeah.
Advertise. Do some legwork.
Mm.
Print some leaflets or do some Google ads or something. Back then, we weren't really using Google ads. It was just flyering everywhere.
Yeah.
So lots of legwork. But I think a more important question is, what temperament, what personality does a person need to have to build a school beyond 20 to 30 students? Anyone can build a school to 20 to 30 students. Anyone can build a school to up to 50 students, I reckon, you know? But what temperament do you need to have to go beyond that? And what you need to fix about yourself? Because we're all flawed. You know, we're all learning on the job, dealing with people. So yeah, I'm just interested for your take.
I would say that there's so many aspects coming to this. First of all, you need to have a growth mindset for your own personal and professional development. You need to.
What does growth mindset mean? Because these are all words that you hear on the internet, growth mindset and this, but what does that mean practically?
What that means practically is constantly reflecting on yourself, constantly reviewing how you were in the class. How did you interact with the student? Afterwards, thinking about it. Okay, how did that go? What did I sense? You have to be really in touch with your sensitive side. You need to really be observant of yourself as you are with others. And you need to have the mindset of, I'm here. This is personal. This is what I think.
Yeah, I'm asking what you think.
I'm here to help and support you. This is my job. And when you focus on the other person, you don't matter anymore. So this has been always my mentality. When I teach, I don't matter. The only reason I matter is because I'm here to support you in your training. I'm here to make you as best as you can be, to support you in whatever way you might need. It might be just to get fitter. For some people, they just want to get fit. For children, they want to build their confidence, which was what Kung Fu did for me. They want to be a bit more serious with their training, train a bit more regularly, want to get some skill. So whatever it may be, I hope that I'm that person to support you, and that's what I'm constantly trying to do. So I think, in my opinion, you need to have that mindset of looking back at yourself, supporting your students, seeing what they need and adapting, constantly adapting. Because if without adapting yourself constantly and seeing sometimes the ugly truth and being open to it, having that is what helps you grow and what helps you be more for more people.
I think that's something I've had to learn. Like I said, I started teaching quite young. And for me, the way I was taught to be a teacher was all about the image you project, right? The instructor image, the teacher image, the unwavering, almost cartoonish view of the Kung Fu teacher that you see in movies. Yeah. And I think for me, as what you say, you focused on the people you were teaching. But for most teachers, and for me in the early days, 100%, I was more focusing on how I'm viewed by the people that I'm teaching. And I think that creates a barrier. And I think you can see how much my teaching style has changed over the 10 years. I think if you look at the first 4 or 5 years of our club, me as a teacher, and you look at the past 4 or 5 years, it's day and night. So I think that's very important. And for some it comes naturally, for some they need to learn it. But I think one thing that's often ignored when people go into teaching is, do you actually know your art?
Mm.
Or have you just trained for a couple of years and someone's given you a certificate? Or have you just done a 200-hour training course and someone said, okay, yeah, here, you're a teacher now, go. Do you actually know your art? For me, that's very important. Everyone's different. So for me, it takes 10 years to really understand something. I can probably start teaching the foundations of something after about 5 or 6 years. But to really teach in any depth, I think 10 years. I think 10 years is the sweet spot. Not 10 years just time, but 10 years of consistent practice. So for example, I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since 2018.
Mm.
Now it's 2026. How long is that? Quick math. 7 years? 8 years. 8 years. It's been on and off. You know, COVID came in, I've had injuries, I've obviously focused on building Kung Fu Zone. But I'm just now helping assist the coach that we've brought in with teaching basics of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I still class myself as a beginner. You know, I'm nowhere near anywhere that I can actually comfortably lead a school in that discipline. And I think realistically speaking, a lot of people these days don't take the time to really understand their art before they teach it, which I think is a shame, because it's not good for them and it's not good for the arts, because it waters down the arts. Yeah, I think that's a very important thing before you think about opening a school. As the head of a school, as the sole teacher of a school, do you really understand your art? Have you put the time in? You know, as the classical saying is, have you eaten bitter? Have you done the hard work? That would be my thing. That would be my advice. In addition to that, I think, again, this is another buzzword that's often used, and it's authenticity. But I think once you let go of the image that you want to project to your students or to the wider martial arts community, you can just relax and be yourself. And when that happens, the people that are meant to train with you, the people that are aligned with your view of the world, your view of the training, will come to you, and those that are not won't. It really is that simple. I think there's a mentality, and we see it all too often, of this jealousy about guarding students. This is my student, don't go here, don't go there. And there's this scarcity mindset amongst martial arts instructors, and it's not just Kung Fu instructors, it's all martial arts instructors. This scarcity mindset of, if I speak kindly of another teacher, my students might go there, or something like that. But I think that's silly. I think people who are meant to train with you will train with you. People who are not meant to train with you will not train with you. And students train where they want to train anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. So I think ultimately, to build a successful school, you need to build a successful yourself. You know, you need to work on yourself. Get rid of all the rubbish that's holding you back. You know, unload yourself off your burden.
Which is not an easy task.
It's not an easy task. It's taken us 10 years to get to where we are. And we're still daily working on things that we're not happy with.
Constantly working on things.
Yeah, constantly, like, I didn't handle that well, or I didn't deal with that person well, or I'm making this decision in this situation because of a hang up I've got myself, not because of that's the correct decision to make. We're constantly working on ourselves. And and every time I think we hit a barrier within our school, like our business, it usually comes back to a part of our own personality that's being stubborn and refusing to change. And we pay attention to it, we work through it, and then suddenly it changes. Suddenly that ceiling is broken, and then you grow. And it's going back to what you were saying about the ceilings in your training. It's the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
With your training, you will stop progressing because it's a part of your personality will stop you from achieving the thing that you need to progress to the next level. Whether it's being able to release in the body, more flexibility, more strength. I have people who do my sparring classes, and the way we do sparring classes is a bit of an MMA style sparring. We do kickboxing, but we also do ground fighting. Because of my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu influence, I say go to the floor, keep fighting until someone taps. So we do a bit of that, bit of wrestling. It's all mixed in. People come and spar, amazing, great movement, fast, but they just can't hit people. They stop themselves hitting people. And I'm like, what are you doing? You need to hit them. They can take it. They can take it. Hit them. It's good for them. And the person, sparring, saying, hit me, I'm open, hit me. But they stop, and that's a mental block. And you're not going to progress in your sparring, your fighting ability, for example, if you can't even hit somebody. Yeah? And it all goes back to personality. Yeah. And that's why I talk about, and not everyone does this, but this is the way I teach. Each form in our system, sometimes forms get a bad stick. Yeah, people say, "Oh, what are you doing? Forms, wasting time." I often get social media. What's this dance that you're doing? Yeah, but forms, in addition to actually building the pathways into your body, building the mental patterns, transforming the body as it should. The patterns are actually working on your personality. We've got patterns in our system. Our system is the white crane system, which has heavy influence of Tai Chi Chuan, and it has monkey influence. Has obviously it's all grounded on Bodhidharma's I Ching Jing. So I have people who get to a Tai Chi Chuan pattern, and Tai Chi Chuan is a really direct, forceful entering pattern. If you think of Emperor Taizu, he's an emperor, and emperors don't yield, do they? Emperors like, you're in my way, you part for me, I'm entering straight through. Somebody who's a bit more meek in their personality, or a bit more allows people to walk over them, they struggle with the Tai Chi Chuan pattern because it's direct, it's aggressive, and then they stay on it. And they don't have to think about the mental aspect, but the actual physical action of walking forwards, being aggressive, starts to change their mentality and starts to bring that out. Yeah. Then you've got people who are very aggressive, very direct, very strong, and they come across a white crane pattern, which in our syllabus is the next pattern, right? Yeah, which is much, it needs to flow, it needs to connect more, and they struggle. They're like, it's just like in blocks of movement. And you're like, no, you need to soften, you need to soften, you need to release, you need to release. And in the act of softening and releasing helps deal with that part of their mind where they're able to release and soften more. So the systems that we practice, in addition to building our school, in my view, and I think in your view as well, is all paths to better ourselves. Yeah. Work through personality kinks and just refine and refine and refine. And it's difficult because you'll face parts of yourself where you think, oh my God, is that really me? Is that how petty I am? Or is that how scared I am?
Yeah.
Is that how vindictive I am?
Yeah.
And then you can either shield yourself from that and go, actually, you know what, this training isn't for me, or I'm going to hide away from that, which is what most people do. Or you can go, actually...
Which we sometimes do for a period of time until we finally realize this is what you need to do, regardless of how difficult or challenging.
And also, there are times where you see a flaw in your personality and you go, okay, this flaw's here, but I really don't have the time or the capacity to unravel that at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got to teach 26 classes this week. I've got to take the kids to school. I have a parents' evening. Do you know what I mean? I've got to do my own training. I don't have the time at this moment to unravel this. So you just put it aside, but you know it's there.
Yeah.
But that's not hiding away from it. Yeah? You need to progress, you need to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
You need to be a beacon to other people. You know, you can't just the way I'd sum it up is, being in people's lives, you should be a positive in people's lives.
100%, yeah.
You shouldn't be a stress or a negative in people's lives. And I think the work is to try and make yourself so that you are shining for other people. And as a teacher, shining on the path for them to continue walking on. And if you do that by example, then that's, I think, the best kind of teaching.
Yeah. I find that as soon as my focus swapped or changed onto I need to lead by example, I focus on the students. I need to make sure that I'm supporting the way I needed to be supported earlier in my training. This is what I need to be for them. And I need to be that person that they can see and that they can copy, and not just stand on the side and just tell them, you do this, you do that, but actually do it with them, share my experience and say, oh, I've done this and this is what happened. If you're feeling like this, that's okay. I've experienced this. And because we are leading by example.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think no unique situation has been brought to us by a student.
No.
Because we've dealt with all of it. We've been through everything. There is no unique... I've never heard a unique situation where... I've heard some unique excuses for why people can't train. I've heard one or two that I've had to applaud. But one of my favourite ones, which I always say, is one of my students, I didn't see him for a while in class, and I got one of his friends who was training. I said, can you message him and see why he's not been around? What's going on? Why is he not training? And the guy messaged back and went, I pay quite a lot of rent, and I hardly spend time at home, so I thought I should spend some time at home. I thought, yep, that's I've never heard that one before. So that's one for the
top-notch excuse.
Yeah, that's a really good excuse. I allow it. I allow it. Yeah. So how do we move on? What's if the UK government allows? If they don't continue raising our business rates for Kung Fu Zone, where we're going to have to close down because they've, I think, tripled our business rates just randomly because we're a small business. So if the government allows and doesn't tax us out of existence, what's the future for Kung Fu Zone?
Well, now we have, moving on to the 2 floors, I think since we opened back in July, now that it's September, 6 months have passed, I feel like we're ready for the next stage, which means being able to fill up that space, those 2 floors, and provide classes. So, for example, one of our new programs that we have begun is the Parents Program, where we have a lovely children's club. We're quite popular with the children's classes, and so many parents are sitting down waiting for their child to finish.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, and we find that, first of all, our mission is to help our students be mentally and physically healthier, and we're helping, for example, with the children's class, we're helping the children, but the parents, you can see how busy they're sitting there waiting, or maybe they're doing a little bit of work on their laptops and so on. And we've made these concurrent classes so they can come in. It's like, it only takes half an hour, just pop upstairs. It's at the same time, you don't need to do any further planning, just come and join that concurrent class. And then when your child is done, you're done, go home, already feeling better. You can have a nice pleasant evening instead of bringing the stress home that you've accumulated throughout the day's work.
I think it's amazing because some of the parents joined our concurrent parents classes in September, so it's been about 6 months that they're consistently training. Their levels of fitness,
it's just
their body shape, how it's changed, the level of strength and fitness that they've garnered, and that's just from 2 or 3 times a week. They're coming to my strength and conditioning classes where I kill them, and then they go to
martial fitness classes.
To your martial fitness classes in the mornings. They turn up to yoga classes, and they're getting a great mix of exercise. Their kids are training on one floor, they're doing exercise on the floor, and it's amazing to see. And some of them are coming to me and saying, I just feel myself stronger, healthier, happier.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing, aren't we? That's the dream. That's what we want to do. We want to make the people that walk through our doors healthier, fitter, stronger, calmer nervous system, just be able to. Life is difficult, yeah?
It's so difficult.
Especially if you live in a place like London. Life is difficult. It's non-stop. Everyone wants your time, everyone wants your money, and it's just great for you to just switch off, leave your kids upstairs or downstairs to train, and you're just going, it's your time, half an hour, 45 minutes, training, and then they leave with a smile on their. Sometimes they leave with a frown because the workout is hard. But there's an internal smile.
And they complain 2 days after.
Yeah,
I'm still in pain.
I can't walk. But there's an internal smile because they know they're doing the right thing for themselves. It's amazing to see.
It's just there's no time. I mean, I know for myself because I know when I'm so busy, I'm trying to plan everything. Everything is a priority. It's like I need to plan around my classes to make sure that I can do my classes. Now I need to plan around my physio exercises for my knee. I need to plan around my own training. And then running this whole place, it takes so much. And it's just people don't have time. So that's why we're really trying to make it a place where people can come and feel themselves, do something for themselves, and be better for themselves and the people around them in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think so what else? Parents program, what else are we working on?
For the adults now, we've got lunchtime and evening classes, and now the lunchtime classes are getting really filled up. I think people with more flexible hours are coming into these, and then the evening classes as well. So providing these, expanding on them. We've added the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is another discipline, which complements Kung Fu so well.
Great, that's more present stuff. So what's for the future?
For the future?
What you got in the works yourself?
Oh my gosh, I've got so much going on in my head.
Is it a secret?
While
it's in development?
It's still cooking. It's still cooking, but there's a lot going on. I mean, I started last year the Junior Leaders Program.
Oh yeah.
For our children members that.
What's the Junior Leaders Program about?
But Junior Leaders Program, I found that a lot of students wanted to be a helper in the class. They wanted to get involved. They wanted to feel that this is a place where they can be somebody more important. And I find in schools it can be so difficult. Once you establish you're sort of this kind of student, it's difficult for them to be supported on the level that each child needs. Mind you, it's much better nowadays than it was when I was a student. Mm-hmm. So I find that when they come here, what I try to give to the students is that ability to get really good at stuff, to actually teach it and to help. So I've developed the Junior Leaders Program. It's like a 6 months program where I get the students to come into the classes and I give them responsibilities. And I'll say, okay, there's this student, teach them how to punch. Teach the student how to do this kick. come in front of the whole class and speak and explain in front of the whole class how to do this technique. Come and run a warm-up. Are you confident enough to run a warm-up? And then I'll constantly be talking to them and say, that was really good, and be very positive about it, because children need that positive reinforcement along the way, because Kung Fu is hard. They need that positive reinforcement. So I would always start with something positive, like, okay, you've done this good and this good and this good. And then I would say, okay, for next time, maybe speak a bit louder. I want even the parents in the back to hear you. So really loud.
Yeah, we've had some good feedback from parents for kids who did the leadership program, where my kid just wouldn't talk. Now they're happy to stand in front of a load of people, talk, speak, lead situations. Yeah. It's great to hear. It's great to hear. You're doing one this year again?
Yes, I'm planning to start one very soon. But yeah, it's amazing how, because it was a brave decision doing this. I had to really believe in myself. Like, I can do this. I can bring that into children's life.
That's what we're saying. Part of dealing with yourself and putting yourself in a situation. Teaching the kids actually helps you grow as well.
Yeah, you were the one who was encouraging me so much, and I was like, I'm not good enough, I don't think I can do it. The imposter syndrome kicking in, which is, for me personally, I think a lot of people struggle with it. But it's really seeing the difference that these 6 months have made to these kids, building these life skills that I can see how that can be so beneficial in their lives, and whatever situation, I know in socially it has already proven in the club. I've seen them being so much more confident and making more friends, and it's so nice to see. And I feel like that's what we're doing this for.
Yeah.
This is what keeps us going in the hardest days. Like, I'm making a difference. It's tough, but we're changing people's lives, even if it's on the small.
Hopefully for the better.
Oh, hopefully
for the better.
That's the hope.
Something that you mentioned while you're talking about that, about you giving positive reinforcement. That's something I'm not very good at. That's feedback I get a lot. You never tell me I'm improving. I never get any compliments from you.
That's why you students like to come to my class now and again. Get
just
that positivity.
Yeah. Every time they're feeling neglected, they turn up to your class to get some positive reinforcement. I don't know. I just never was trained that way.
Yeah.
No, I think I may have got like five compliments in my 14, 15 years with my instructor.
Yeah, you never.
But I'm trying to be. Do you know what it is? I feel like this is obviously wrong. Yeah, this is obviously incorrect way of thinking, but this is how my mind works. Why do you need to know you're doing something well? Yeah. If I don't say anything to you, it means it's correct. It's good for your level. It's the do it this way. The corrections, or when I'm telling you you're doing that wrong, is what's going to improve you. Yeah. I'm not saying that's a correct way of being, but that's how my mind works. And sometimes I can see how that will be difficult for people. So when I go, okay, in my mind, I see somebody doing something well. I'm like, okay, I should compliment that person because they're doing that well. And then my mind goes, yeah, but aren't you patronizing them?
Yeah.
Aren't you being patronizing?
Yeah.
So it's just
constant battle. You've got limited time. I just need to get you to do this. I need you to do that. I need to.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like, yeah, if I'm complimenting someone, it's like I'm not being honest. I'm not being authentic. Oh, that's great. Okay.
No, but we need to be very specific. It's not just like, oh, great job.
Great with your footwork. Great with your positioning of your knee.
Oh yeah, for example, if they've worked on something and they've improved on it, it's like, wow, I can see that's really improved. Well done, you've taken all my feedback. And so that's what I do with my students anyway.
No, you're
especially
right.
when I give them something to work on.
You're right. It's something I'm going to work on this year. Be more complimentary to people. But it feels like it's against my nature. So it's just another thing I need to fix.
This is something that our relationship has faced as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. Did you need compliments all the time?
Well, not to do with compliments, but it feels like everything's, well, finding first of all the work-life balance, where because we do this all the time, sometimes we go to bed, last thing we say to each other is about work. First thing we say to each other in the morning is about work. And sometimes our conversation is, have you done this? From your side to me, have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And I'm like, oh, here we go again. And I'm like, and I haven't done this. I know I haven't done that. Every time he says, have you done this? I'm like, oh, okay, which one is it going to be?
Which of the things that I haven't done that I should have done is he going to bring up now?
You and your structured mind is very much like, this needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll do that now, I'll do that later. Let's see how I feel.
But I think that's why we work so well together, because I'm very structured. I'm very organized, pedantic. You know, I don't forget things. I never forget anything. Okay, rarely. I rarely forget things. I rarely forget things. Like, and you're the complete opposite. You just
forget everything.
Forget everything. This feels good, so I'll do this now. This doesn't feel so good, so I won't do it. But
I have discipline in my life. I'm not complete wreck.
Sure.
But yeah, I do. I find with my.
Let's not have a domestic on our first episode. Any last thoughts? I think one thing that's important to mention is we've been able to grow. We've been able to get to where we are because I've been able to be friends with other people who've been able to help. You know, I think we're lucky to be able to call on the experience of other people. And I think early on in my trying to teach, early on in your trying to teach, trying to build a club, we didn't really have anybody, did we? We didn't have anybody to guide us the best ways to be as a teacher, how to build this school. When we hit certain ceilings, we had to work it out ourselves because we didn't really have anybody. But later on, you know, providence, fate, life brought us people into our lives that could help us, which has been great, and we're very fortunate. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because I wanted to give people who kind of feel alone on how to build a club, to understand the dynamics of building a club, and how to manage the training, how to build the club, and things like that. Yeah, what do you think? Anything? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think I would just like to break it down very quickly, just because I don't think we went into such great detail. I think when you first open, like you said, you find the space, maybe open 2 nights a week so people can start 2 times a week. Keep your job. Please don't leave your job. Keep your job, and then do those 2 classes and stay consistent. Stay consistent. If you stay consistent and keep showing up and keep believing in your art, believing in what you're teaching, believing in yourself, and then it will build slowly but surely until you get to the point where you hopefully can do that.
Yeah, I think that's important. A lot of people make the mistake of getting a massive loan, leaving their job, and going, I'm starting a club. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
There's so much learning to do along the way anyway.
You don't need to do that. You can work in the daytime, teach an hour in the evening. And as your club grows, as you start to make the money that is comparable to what you're currently making in your job, then you can leave your job. Or you can even taper down. Do you know what I mean? As this increases, you can taper down your job.
Yeah.
So that you're not in debt. Yeah. You're not causing trouble for yourself. And just because you see someone like us, we've got a big school in central London, that's not where we started. And you got to start in community halls.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself. Yeah. Start in community halls, very cheap. Like in London, you can get them for £25-30 an hour. Start in community hall, build a community, depending on what part of the world you're in. And then when you get to a point where it's not making sense to continue paying that amount for community hall hire, then you can start to look for getting your own place. But it took us 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
To that point.
But to be fair, one thing we didn't talk about, because everybody's memory hold it, is COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a huge event in everybody's lives, but everyone's just completely got amnesia about COVID.
Yeah.
We just don't think about it until we remember it. But we nearly collapsed during COVID.
Yeah.
It was really amazing that a lot of our students continued to pay their memberships, continued to train on Zoom. Some didn't even
come to
didn't even train on Zoom, but continued to pay their memberships, and that's how we survived. You know, we dropped to very, very small number of students. Our kids club completely
wiped out.
Yeah, there was no more kids club. So yeah, you're gonna have ups and downs.
So yeah, since COVID, so what was that, 2020, 21?
So everything started to really get back on track in
the last
2022, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because there were remember, there were lockdowns, no lockdowns, you can go in the hall, you can go in the park.
We're in the parks, and then
crazy.
So only 8 people allowed.
Yeah. So I'd say it's taken us 5 or 6 years if we don't count COVID. If you count COVID, I'd say 8 years. It took us from having no students, opening the club, to getting to our own physical school. And in that time, we've had 2 kids. We got married. We've had our 10-year wedding anniversary, which is in line with our 10-year
anniversary.
Yeah, I think there's 3 months difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Well, that was basically it. So yeah, you start, and there's so many aspects behind the scenes where, especially you were in charge of that. For me to be able to teach the way I was able to teach, be a free spirit, try stuff, is because you were dealing with so much of the financial side of things, and
or the stress side,
of the marketing, the club,
stress of building a business.
There's so much behind the scenes and thankfully you're very good at it. And I think a lot of people, they have to, to run your martial arts school, you need to be able to do so many things, and hopefully get to a point where you can outsource these things so you don't have to do everything yourself. But really, you need to become a marketeer to be able to market with this. You need to be very good, a people person. You need to be training regularly to keep your level up, and make sure you can do a website. You need to be good at social media, because nowadays everything is, mind you, not so much anymore, but still social media is still very, very big.
Yeah.
So suddenly you have to be good at all these things. And
I think we're both very, very happy with the community we have now, to the point that we're very close with most of them. Yeah, most of the people that have trained with us for a while, we're very close with them. Every personality here is a big part. Sometimes when students tell me they have to move away or they're not going to train anymore, it genuinely saddens me, because I like all the people that train with us. I like bantering with them. I like joking with them. They've become friends. So it's tough. It's just like someone's like, oh, I'm not training anymore. And I'm like, does that mean I'm going to see you around? Do you know what I mean? It can be quite sad. Some instructors don't think that way.
I think when you invest,
but I do. Yeah, I can't help it. I can't help it. Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, you have to invest yourself to that level where if somebody leaves, it does hit you. But it's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
I think that's plenty for.
Yes, quite a lot of people listening. Quite a lot for people to listen to. So if you've made it till the end, well done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my first episode guest.
My pleasure.
Most of the rest of the episodes, I think, will be me talking at the camera. And if I have friends or people that I respect in this or adjacent fields, because it's not just going to be about martial arts, it's going to be about cultivation, it's going to be about spirituality, current events maybe, because I'm a big political animal. So cultural things, cultural commentary. If I have people that I want on, I'll invite them on and see if they want to have a chat.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I look
Thank
forward to hearing more of that.
If you listen.
I shall try.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.